You, listen, you're drowning. Panic. Get your brain around this one. I don't like people who bottle out. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Good evening and welcome to a brand new series of The Apprentice, You're Fired with me, Youre. We're a little later in the year than usual, I know, but The Apprentice is back for its 10th series. Between now and Christmas, we'll be joining Lord Sugar on his search for his next business partner with an investment of £250,000 up for grabs. Each week, with the help of unseen footage, we'll be getting under the skin of the new crop of candidates whose odds of winning got slimmer with these words.
I'm going to start things off a little bit differently. Can you send the other candidates in, please? Well, welcome, the other four.
Yes, 20 candidates, never before have we had so many candidates to scrutinise, so we better get started and meet my panel of Apprentice aficionados, some of whom I'm delighted to say will be joining us throughout the series as we track the candidates up and downs. Award-winning entrepreneur Dale Murray, Radio 1's Greg James and comedian Catherine Ryan, welcome to You're Fired. So then, to tonight's task. Actually, no, wait, hang on. Maureen, hi. Send in the extra panellists, please. From last year's Apprentice, none other than Neil Clough. From Series 4, Rafe Badjo. And from Series 2, Ruth Badger. It's right, I know, it's fantastic. These, I know. They're all real people, I know. It's amazing sometimes, you forget that. Thank you all very much. You all well, I hope?
Yes, very well.
Yes, ready to take on the task of giving your opinions. It is slightly unreal. We don't really make people stand for the whole length of it. We have seats for you out there. So will you join us as the show goes on?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil, Ray, Drew, from First Now, tonight's task of selling 10 items from bangers to balloons left one candidate's apprentice dreams burst.
What frustrates me is that those T-shirts are still sitting at the printer. And on that basis, Charles, you're fired. Thank you, Lord Sugar.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Charles Cartwright. Lovely stuff. Charles, I say this every year, we hardly knew you. You're in, you're out, you'll disappear like an enigma wrapped inside a riddle in a tweed jacket. We will never know who you truly are. Was it a surprise to be in the room? That was kept a big secret?
That was completely shocked, yeah. We weren't expecting that at all. I think all of us were quite surprised.
And so did it make it more difficult, do you think?
I think there was a lot more characters in there, and I think you were trying to herd cats quite a lot at the time. So I think, yeah, it was a lot more challenging with a lot more characters and a lot more people in the room.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Now, what businesses, by the way, do you run?
So I've got a manufacturing business that makes eco-friendly building products, and I've also got a consultancy business which consults.
Yes, absolutely. Well, turn your consultant's mind now to why you got fired, because I think really it wouldn't take an enormous amount of analysis to work out why you lost your shirt this week.
Tell me about the T-shirts.
We're going to sell the balloons, and we're going to come back here for the T-shirts after that. I'm going for that decision, and I don't care what anyone else says. I'm the most credible candidate in this process. I don't feel that I should be brought back into the boardroom.
I'm going to bring Charles to this boardroom.
We need to sell the T-shirt.
You actually didn't even go back and get them, didn't sell any at all.
So you didn't get to sell the T-shirts?
No.
Are you telling me that £500 worth of T-shirts are still at the printers?
Correct. We got to sell the potatoes for £75.
Whatever you sold those T-shirts for, you most probably would have won this task.
Was that not obvious, Charles?
What, the T-shirts?
The T-shirts, no, the potatoes. Don't get sidetracked down the potatoes. You made a few quid off there, and a wheelbarrow, which you threw in as well. You know, literally the clothes off your back you were selling at that point. But the T-shirts, was that, you know?
Yeah, it was a challenge to try and work out how to get back for the T-shirts. We were a long way
Right, okay, so it's taking you along. So you would have, how much time, would you have had much time to sell them even?
Probably not, but we could have done what the girls did and sold them to the people that printed them for us, I guess.
Dale, was it a glaring error?
Definitely, I think so, I'm afraid, because you've got to go for the margin, you've got to smell the money and go for where the money is, and it was clearly with the T-shirt. I think a very important business skill to have is clear cognitive function. So you've got to be able to just filter in all the information that's happening around you and actually make a decision. And unfortunately, you chose potatoes and not the money, the T-shirts.
I'm sorry, when you say it's important to have clear cognitive function,
Indeed.
You're calling him stupid, basically.
No, I would never say that.
No, well, clearly not, no. But you've really put longer words onto saying exactly that. Yeah. You've got to use a thing we call thinking. If you apply thinking in a business scenario, often it will lead to the elimination of mistakes. Greg, were you screaming at the television at this point?
I was, and hi, Charles. I was screaming. The T-shirts was the thing.
But could you not have just sold them blank?
We thought we could make more money out of printing the T-shirts. So we passed that one off.
It's the game of these printing companies. Just come to us, give us your money, we'll make some shirts, and we'll buy them back from you. Essentially, they're just, that is a scheme.
It's brilliant, actually. If anyone is a cognitive thinker in this situation, it's the guy running the T-shirt printing company who says, you don't want it now? Well, I'll take it off you for money. And he just makes money off this. What a business guy is running, yeah. It will take me years, he said, to sell these T-shirts.
You could learn something from him.
It was all, yeah. I mean, not only that, like, this is not a trivial task or whatever. The coming up of the ideas of what to put onto the T-shirt, that in itself was entertaining to watch you bang your heads together for that one. I mean, because, oh yes, it was, yeah, and it was some time it took as well.
So yeah, each come up with one idea. We've got 30 seconds to think of it, and then we pitch it. Yeah. Okay.
I've got an idea. Buy this T-shirt.
Buy this T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, should we cast over the T-shirt slogan?
No, but I want to know if that method's ever worked for you before, where you've just gone, right, OK, guys, 30 seconds, let's come up with a new company, go! Has it ever worked before?
Clearly not, no. That was the first experiment, and yeah, not going to do it again.
That was an idea, you came up with that idea.
Just right there and then, on the spot. Took me 30 seconds to come up with that, and then we...
And none of you thought just to have "You're fired" printed on a T-shirt?
That's brilliant now, Darryl. Why were you there with
You know what I mean? Like, that's
we would have taken that.
I suppose it looks very obvious from this point. And, you know, when you're in the middle of the process, it can be difficult to have the clarity of thought not to see that. One man did note that this was going wrong. One man was brave enough to stand up there and go, I believe that we are making a mistake. And I tell you, he got no thanks for it.
Who is responsible for the failure of this task?
We had a very disruptive character.
Who's that?
Stephen. It has to be Stephen.
It does?
It is the main reason.
The main reason?
Do not say I'm responsible for the failure of this task. I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned with the decision you've made. It's the wrong choice. I said, Charles, you need to instruct the driver to turn around, and we need to get those T-shirts. And you said to me, Stephen, no. I should speak. I have been helping. I'm being very supportive.
He is an irritant. There's no question of it. Right? But there's not really a reason for placing blame on a person like that.
Exactly.
Stephen, may I respectfully say to you, shut up.
Oh, no problem.
Okay. Stephen can be annoying. We've learned that much about him already. But why did you all point the finger at Stephen?
Stephen's full of energy, constantly full of energy. And he's an absolute... I mean, the one thing I really admire about Stephen is he really does believe in himself, and he really goes for it every time. But he was constantly on it all the time. Every time we tried to make a decision, he was constantly going the opposite way and trying to push the team.
When Felipe essentially fell for it and nominated him as the major reason that the task has failed, that was basically, you must have thought I got away with this now. I have managed to make Stephen the flaw here.
I think when you're in that position, you've got to think about, you know, it was either me or Felipe. I think it was pretty clear that was going to be the case. So it was a case of identifying somebody that was disruptive to the group, and he was being quite interesting and challenging.
An interesting character from what we've seen of him so far?
I think so. I think you do need these disruptors in business, these agitators, these people that are difficult to handle, because they are the ones that can come up with creative ideas, or they can mention something which maybe you haven't thought about. The challenge as a manager of the team is to work with that and get the best out of that kind of personality.
And you've managed large teams in the past, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
How large a team have you managed?
200 plus, but Stephen's, he's a new challenge, actually. But
You think Stephen is more difficult to manage than 200 other people?
Just say it like it is. He's a grenade who's been rolled into The Apprentice to explode and just mess everything up for everybody. But I think he's brilliant. I love him.
Also, there's a brand of passive-aggressive that he's already doing. And I say passive-aggressive, but the whole... usually there's somebody on the losing team who we think are a close shave. But this week, we had to go all the way to the top of the winning team to find the luckiest escapee.
How do you think project management was? I mean, be honest.
Not very good.
Disappointing.
It wasn't good.
Terrible.
Non-existent. As project manager, I said I'm project manager, so I was a project manager. I'm project managing this whole task.
How did you set your team out?
Sarah hasn't divided the teams with any logic. I'm going to split us down the middle. I'm just
Physically, the half where you were sitting.
right in the middle. I think we could actually get a lot more money by cutting them up. No. We've done really well today. It's just been error after error. You're really confusing me now. You would like to buy this from us for £250. If we sell chopped lemons, no. Oh my God.
The whole product's environmentally friendly.
Well, they are plastic, so I wouldn't want to see them, obviously, near the penguins. Do you think you did a great pitch? I thought I did.
So much to discuss here. Since when is this £250 worth of cleaning?
And also, since when was this a test of how good a bog brush is?
They're the amount of times I go, honey, the toilet brush is broken again. Like I was banging it on the side as you do to, dislodge. Whatever. And then things, we just got all over the place. It was to the people from the zoo who were just looking at kind of a...
I mean, if they were seals, you could club them that way, but not penguins. We don't do that to penguins.
It was the one's face we should have done at the amount, and also it was the deal of the century. Oh well, we've reduced it from £300. Yeah, we've reduced it from our made-up figure to our other made-up figure. The zoo people must be thinking, should we exchange one of our animals for your magic beans that you're clearly setting up here? I particularly like as well that she changed tack into an environmentally friendly tack, where she said, well, I wouldn't want. To the people who worked in a zoo, the professional animal care, like, hey, I wouldn't want any of these things in with the penguins. It's the first thing they were going to do. The zoo staff were going to go, fling them at the penguins.
The thing is that she looked in the glove as if there would be a label that says, suitable for penguins.
Have you not seen? There's like a little penguin and then there's a red circle around it and a line to it. No penguins. No penguinar. Nada de penguine. With these particular gloves. You have to buy our penguin-friendly glove. Because if you pick up a penguin, I just shoot at that. Is there something about I'm project managing. I'm project managing right now. I can't be making coffee.
When you're a leader, you don't need to state that you're a leader. It's apparent through your actions, and so you didn't need to keep restating that. And clearly, it was irritating her teammates thoroughly. So she should have again listened or observed that.
I liked that passive-aggressive tension. You don't get that at Starbucks.
Why did you make the coffee? They do. It's almost on day one they tell you not to do that. When you start to work in any of those major chains, they always say, please don't have an argument in front of people who really just want a cup of coffee and don't want to be part of your thing. Don't want to be,
I don't want to be treated that well in the morning. I want to watch a fight. That's what
I think we're avoiding probably the major managerial one, because Sarah didn't even get off to a good start with the team when she imposed the dress code.
My strategy as project manager is to ensure that everybody likes me. We all look very nice so far. Nice dress, heels. Serious.
Sarah's priorities are makeup, short skirt. So everyone, we need to pop loads of makeup, lipstick, high heels. We're going to wear a short skirt.
I didn't bring any short skirts. We're serious business women.
Whether we have short skirts on or short dresses on, it's not going to really matter.
But bring some nice makeup. Yeah, no, that's fine. Are you thinking of wearing a skirt?
Half of us go sort of dressed up.
The other half are going to look sort of semi-average.
Dale, you may take it and run with it. You may enjoy yourself with this. How wrong is this?
Well, I think it's very, very dangerous to tell anybody how to dress in a business environment. These are successful women. They've all been selected to come on to this competition, and they know how to present themselves. So again, she was unfortunately showing her hand very, very clearly that she was, quite power hungry, quite controlling, and that's only going to get one response from a group of women who are successful in their own right. But the other side of it as well is, short skirts, lots of makeup in order to get the business deal done. Ouch, that is not right at all.
Yeah. I mean, it is right if what you're selling is your body, but in that case, you've got to give a cut to the boys and give them some of your product for free, and you're not going to win that way.
You've got to remember as well that this is a business company called Decadence. And I have been in business establishments with the word decadence in the title, and it's been predominantly a female workforce, but I have not. Well, I hear tell of such places. But it is like, it was already a creepy name before the instructions came out for the short. Hitch up your short skirt.
She's just one of those people in the world that is wired differently to everybody else, and she thinks about the wrong thing. She, as we've said, she talks about lemons, and she talks about cutting things. She talks about the wrong thing. She's focused on the wrong thing.
Ruth Badger, we have in the audience. Ruth, how are you? Good to have you here. You made, you one of the finest salespeople the show's ever seen. How would you have dealt with her?
I think when it comes to people like Sarah, she's got an autocratic management style. What I did notice was they were there to sell coffee. They've got this long queue of people waiting to buy coffee. I'm screaming, get somebody into the queue as she stood having an argument. So I don't think she's long for this world, but I would pay to watch her and Stephen together.
Charles, you're the first to be fired. Let's hear what Lord Sugar and your former colleagues, albeit briefly, had to say about you.
Charles came into this process as a very credible candidate. A lot of experience. He's set up some businesses on his own. So you can imagine how disappointed I was when he made a simple error on the T-shirt issue. This task was simple. It was all about adding value.
The T-shirts were the product that we had indicated was the high-value product.
I feel like Charles does not know how to correctly take on good feedback. Let's go there and see if they'll take
Guys. He was either trying to get everyone in the group involved in helping make a decision or being very autocratic.
Charles failed to identify and prioritise what would make the team the most money. And that, regretfully, is why Charles had to go.
It's tinged with regret. We rarely hear him say on week one that it's regretful that someone had to go. Usually it's, it's the first few weeks, you hardly know them and you pass through it. But you have a solid business record.
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah. And you also, what was the project that you were going to bring to him?
Ironically, the project was a sports fashion, sort of a luxury running brand.
T-shirts.
Would involve T-shirts.
Do you have to run to get the T-shirt? Is that the way it works?
Something like that, yeah.
You buy them online, you have to collect them by yourself.
Yeah, the irony is, not lost.
Dear. I know you're going to carry on with that?
I think...
You have two businesses yourself at the moment.
Yeah. So I think it's nice to add on other things, and I'm going to look for an investor and see where I can take that one as well.
Okay. Any other lessons you took from the brief time that you had?
Yeah, I think... frown less, smile more. I think in the boardroom it was all a bit serious, and it was absolutely gutted to come out first, but what an experience. I mean, unbelievable. Amazing.
Okay, well, yeah, very, very good. Now, we're going to talk about other members of your team, by the way, that you had. Some of whom could have been sitting here. I mean, Robert, 6'7", is the tallest candidate we've ever had, and was quick to point out the shortcomings in the house.
People look at me, 6'7", a little bit lanky, wearing stupid coloured clothes. I couldn't give a shit.
This Robert is a little bit of an arty-farty type of person, I think.
Is that the only wardrobe space we've got? I'm massively concerned about the wardrobe space. What to wear?
He just went over the top, dressing up.
My baseline for the hair? Does it look smart? Your style is an integral part of how you portray yourself. What are you wearing?
I'm not interested in all this Shoreditch, yuppie, arty-farty bollocks, right? Okay?
A pleasure to have you here. You made quite the name for yourself for your own. You've quite the dapper style yourself, and you've maintained that, I see. Yes, but you were always very, very well dressed, and noticeably well dressed. Do you think it helps in business?
I have to say, I salute Robert's individualism. It can help. I think it's very important that everyone has their own style. I'm not, for instance, a fan of the conventional suit. But I think the danger is that if you draw too many eyes to you, then that obviously can swing against you in some regards. We don't know. His final business plan may be fashion-related, in which case, and secretly I hope it is the case, because I'd love to see Lord Sugar enter the world of fashion with Robert. That could be quite interesting.
Thank you very, very much. By the way, what were your words? Because every year we have the candidates come on and they say these highfalutin things about themselves. You had a particularly good motto, didn't you?
Well, let's put it this way. I really advise the candidates not to use the expression, I get on with both Prince and Pauper. Or indeed, the spoken word is my tool.
The spoken word is my tool. Yeah, I remember that one. Right. Yeah, that was a particularly nice one. Because there were some beautiful ones this year. Daniel, for example, apparently possesses special powers.
I am an alpha male. I can make women do what I want in the business world, and come to think about it, some men.
Hello? 4 words. Sell, 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 sell. You noticed me? I'm wearing a hot dog outfit.
I was listened to, and that's what's going to happen in this process.
Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Do you fancy trying something new? Huh? I'm only here today, I swear to you. Is there food in there? You got food.
There's no I in team, famous saying, but there's 5 in individual brilliance.
It's fabulous, isn't it? There are 5 eyes in individual. There are 5 eyes in incredibly irritating as well. Yes, that little bit of, how was he, by the way? He was a good salesman.
He was great. Yeah, he was very confident and very. He pitched pretty well actually most of the time.
It was actually quite odd for him to say, "I'm an alpha male," whilst driving a convertible Mini. That was, I mean, that's not, I mean, that was not lost on me, that bit.
Neil, how are you? Good to have you back, Neil Clough, like whatever. You once said, I think the phrase you gave was, behind every great project manager, there's a Neil Clough. So, yes, it's never going to go away. What did you think of Daniel?
He can certainly talk the talk, and he did one thing particularly well. He looks great as a hot dog.
Yes.
I think in selling is you've got to be able to listen, and I think the challenge he's going to have is he's got to listen to people a little bit more, and I think if he can do that, he could go a very, very long way.
What are you doing these days, Neil?
Well, I listened, believe it or not, to the feedback that I got about my business plan last year. I got told to stick to what I know, so I did, which is sales, and I set up a sales training and recruitment business. And I'm also a motivational speaker, which was a bit surreal after a team-building task that we did last year. So absolutely loving it. Apprentice has changed my life, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity.
So because you did a motivational speaking task, because your team, I remember this, refused to pay for a professional motivational speaker, and you said, I'll do it instead. You are now a professional motivational speaker.
That's right, yeah.
I hope that many of your gigs get cancelled because the people who book you said, no, let's not pay for professional motivational speaker. Because you one of our teams do that. You have motivated us to save money on a motivational speaker. That's very good. In the, what is the way you obviously watch the show, this part of the thing, is that you maybe get a little pen picture of everything in your head. Robert is the posh tall one, the James is Del Boy, the Daniel is the alpha male, but who is Felipe? Who knows Felipe best, and can Felipe tell us what he knows about Felipe?
Felipe's strategy in the process is to be Felipe. So Felipe's team went to sell hot dogs. Felipe is a loyal, enthusiastic, hardworking person. Felipe is a dreamer that believes that everything is possible. That's Felipe.
I love it. See, this is what Dara's wondering, right? Dara's wondering if that's an interesting and charming thing, or is it a sign of some form of madness? That's what Dara's thinking right now. Third person, referring to yourself as the third person?
Yeah, Catherine likes it. I think when you've got a name like Felipe, that's a loaded name. I like it. I want to hear it. It's really, Felipe thinks this, Felipe. I want to go along with Felipe and buy what he's selling.
Yeah, if his name was Bob or John, you think it would sound...
You wouldn't bother.
You wouldn't bother with Felipe.
Felipe. I'm going to change my name to Felipe. Perhaps his name is Bob or John, and Felipe is his spirit animal. You know, Felipe really thought it would be a good idea to sell these potatoes. Felipe is really the salesman inside us all.
Do you think there'll be some point where he's going to go, what was that, Felipe? You think I should not become project manager? Shush, Felipe, be quiet. Felipe thinks I should not become manager. How was Felipe? Or Felipe's housekeeper?
Yeah, Felipe was good actually. As a project manager, I think he kept his cool head all the way through. And apart from that one time when he hung up on me, apart from that,
yes.
every way, all the way through, he was on it all the time.
Very good. Impressed by Felipe?
I thought Felipe's management styles were great, actually. He was very decisive, wasn't he? And he did lead by doing, and his decisiveness in particular is a great quality to have as a leader.
So well done, Felipe. To the vote, however, Dale, do you think that Lord Sugar was right to fire Childs?
I'm not sure, actually. I would have gone for Robert. I thought Robert wasn't very good at listening. He was very talkative. I think that Charles's background and his, his business skills already put him a bit of a step ahead.
Greg?
Before meeting you, Charles, I thought he had got rid of the right person, but I'm going to change my mind, and I think I would have probably saved you and got rid of Robert.
Catherine?
Sure, I would have fired you, Charles.
That's not even in reference to the show she's just watched. It's just on a good feeling. You're right. OK, we'll throw it to yourselves. Green for hired, red for fired. Would you have kept Charles? Let's see your vote now. Oh, I'm afraid that's very much a red there. You've been fired by their audience. Yes, don't take it too personally, though, to be honest. It's only week one. It's only week one. We hardly knew you. By the way, week one is the same as any other week. You get a gift. You get a gift. Some people get very excited about this because they think, oh, what's the gift going to be?
I'm guessing it's going to be a T-shirt.
You think it's going to be a T-shirt, don't you? Everyone presumes it's going to be I went on The Apprentice and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. No. You'd have 60 T-shirt pounds, so we're giving you 60 T-shirts. We're giving you the 60 T-shirts that we left behind. No. The man will take them. The man will keep them. The man will bring them back to you. Here. You can have this one there. You can model this one. There you go. There's buy this T-shirt.
Would any of the panel like to buy 60
No one wants to buy your T-shirt. We've had them for years, my friend. We've had them for years. You may be knocked out in the first round, Charles, but we are sending you off hopefully in style. Here are your highlights.
What I'm most proud of is making that decision to give it all up, turn my back on it all, and start my first company.
I want you to be my second manager.
I'm somebody who's going to take risks, each come up with one idea.
All right, mate, pack it in. If you're going to complain, at least.
Right, let's slow down, let's calm it down a little bit.
I've got a proper soft spot for Charles.
He's northern, I do apologise, a little bit confused. I'm taking that decision now.
Charles is really charming.
He's his grandmother. He's a very likeable character.
He's a very smart guy.
A very talented guy.
Yeah. We need to get out selling now. We need to move on now. It was a lot of energy, a real eye-opener for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Cartwright. And that's it for tonight. Thanks to all my guests, including our 3 former candidates. Go to our website at bbc.co.uk/apprentice for loads of extras, including a section of this episode with honest subtitles where we're saying. We're also on Twitter, Facebook and now Vine, so there's no excuse for not keeping up to date. Now, just as a special treat for the start of the series, we're back again tomorrow night. The second task is all about combining clothing with technology. But whose apprentice dreams will Lord Sugar rip apart?
Whoa. Guys,
What I'm detecting are some bottlers.
You need to make a decision.
A bit of a slippery character. Passes the back as if it's a grenade.
Will it work under the material?
This kind of dead wood is out.
I'm a selling machine. The pitch went absolutely outstanding.
We made fundamental errors.
Oh dear.
So that will all take place not even a day from now. The second programme is on tomorrow night, and we'll see you at the same time tomorrow at 10 p.m. Good night.